Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be making the TLC caftan. So due to some technical failures when I was shooting all the stuff for this video, I lost a bunch of footage and then also had a bunch of footage that turned up without sound on, so it was not great. So I'm actually shooting this intro from the future, I guess from the perspective of the rest of the clips, or from the past, from the perspective of you guys watching this video. So it's all very timey-wimey, wibbly wobbly in that regard. Um, yeah, it was a multi-day project, and I started on the first day with the cutting out. I bought some fabric mainly for a Victorian walking skirt project, or I guess that was the starting point, just for like a big gored skirt, and I am also editing that video today. Uh, and yeah, I have a real tendency to massively overbuy fabric just to be on the safe side. Sort of looking at it and figuring it out, I realised that I had enough to make the caftan and enough to make the skirt. And then it turned out I had some left over from which I made this shirt. So yeah, there was a lot of value for money out of this fairly inexpensive cotton poplin print, and I think I got it from Pound Fabrics, maybe. It was like £4 a meter, so I was very pleased with that. Anyway, enough chat. Let's crack on and get to the cutting. The TLC caftan is a pattern from Decades of Style, and I think I first became aware of it. I think I was watching like an Abby Cox video, and she was wearing one which was like really lovely colour combo, sort of black and white, with the sort of facing contrast colour in red, maybe. Oh, I don't remember, but it was very nice, and I was like, what on earth is this garment? And I was really trying to figure out what was going on with the sleeves, because the great thing about it is it both has this waistband, but then also has these sleeves which are attached. So I was kind of just boggling at okay, so how is it so nipped in, but also it's just a giant rectangle with holes cut for the arms. So that was a bit of fun. I didn't even know what to Google for it to figure out what it was called, but I found it in the end, I think. Yeah, and bought the pattern, and I'm really looking forward to cracking on with it. So the great thing about this pattern is that it's mostly rectangles. The sleeves, the skirt, rectangles, the belt inset in and out, also rectangles. I guess the pockets are pocket-shaped, but otherwise it's only the front and back bodice that are actually shaped pieces. Yes, the front bodice, I didn't film it, but I did do a little bit of a full bust adjustment on that to give me a bit more space inside it. It's a new weekend and a new microphone for maybe a little better, louder sound. We'll see. I cut all my pieces out already, so the first thing I'm going to do is use my overlocker to finish off the edges of all the pieces before I even begin to sew them together. I like this approach, and I'm more comfortable with it than with using the overlocker to both seam and finish at the same time, just because you don't lose any fabric that way. So if I make a drastic miscalculation putting a thing together, I won't have, I won't have chopped it off as I've seamed it up. So everything is a bit more reversible, and that is definitely my comfort zone. I am not immune from making stupid mistakes. In fact, it's possibly pathological at this point. Right, let's crack on. Okay, so first I want to stay stitch and gather stitch the front panel, and then the same with the upper back panel. Easy peasy. So after I serged, oh hello, pointing in the right direction. So after I went and serged all of the edges, I've now got to trim the neck edge so that there's less of it, so I can bias tape it up. I was quite chuffed when I decided to do a white contrast on this navy and white fabric to discover that I had white bias just hanging around. It's great when that happens. I decided to stitch down the inside of the bias tape by hand because I've never quite gotten the hang of a neat stitch in the ditch to catch the back edge of it. Now it's just so hot. It's turning into a greenhouse in here. So next up is to attach the waist insets, which I've also done in the contrasting white. This was some linen I had left over from my miscalculated pleated linen skirt adventure. Yes, but I had pretty much just the exact right amount to get this bit sorted. So I'm kind of chuffed I haven't had to buy anything for this other than the main fabric, which I didn't actually buy for this. I think, as I mentioned, I bought it for a skirt project, so watch the space for that. Okay, so this is where I find myself up to at the end of the day. Well, it's not the end of the day, but you know, it's warm, it's evening, fancy a rest. And this feels like a good stopping point. The main, I guess, body of the caftan is done. And then the next bit on the list is the facing and slash sleeve situation, which, yes, so these sort of put the armhole on in the middle of the fold of the fabric and then fold this round as a facing to it. This is all to come, and this is all kind of new for me. I've never done anything like that. I want to try and make a sensible and tidy job of it the first time, so I figured that the best thing to do would be to leave it and start doing that piece of work fresh tomorrow. So along the marked basted lines, I've stitched it with the right side to wrong side, wrong side here, to the main arm bit. So having done that, the next thing to do is to cut down the middle. I'd, like a fool, already cut the facing piece, but I hadn't cut the main piece, so that's fine. Cut down the middle, fold over and iron over the edge, and then one turns it all the way through on to the front side. Perhaps one clips one's curves a little more than I have here, and then I haven't yet, but then I will sew this down on the front, and that'll be the facing piece. Boomski. So that's where I'm at the moment. So I think I was a bit eager at this point, or a bit daunted by the facing process, because I forgot to film most of it, and then I forgot to film the part where I sew the sleeves onto the main body of the caftan. But I did film myself ironing those seams, so hey, sewists, it's always important to iron as you go. Last day, final day, hopefully only like another 20 minutes or so of sewing left on this. 20 minutes? And I obviously forgot I had to hem it. Hemming takes me ages. So these are the internal inset bands, and I'm going to attach this elastic to them both. You can see I've done this one already. Then they attach to the inside, and we mark up the elastic to see how much overlap there is at my desired amount of stretchy, my desired fit, and then sew them together. Okay, so this is pretty much it. Got the elastic in, I've got it safety pinned, and I'm gonna sew it in at that level. It could probably be snugger and more fitted, but it's a caftan. It's not supposed to be fitted. Yeah, so hey, yeah. Sew this in, call it almost finished, put it on this guy for while I go off and do archery. And then when I get back, it'll have hung for a little while, and I shall hem it, and then it'll be done. PLC caftan finished. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm really happy actually with how this make made. It's a lovely fabric to wear, really lightweight, so it's going to be just perfect for a summer cover-up. I like the size of it. I feel like the large version, which is both, you know, longer in the sleeve and longer to the floor, it would just not have worked for me, not being my style. This sort of mid-length short sleeve thing is just right. I ended up using the elastic, not the twill tape method of sort of bringing it in a little, but didn't actually do the elastic so tight as to properly define my figure, properly define my shape, because it's a caftan and that's not what that's for. But also because while I'm wearing it just as a dress now, the main intent was to have it as a cover-up, so a lot of my uses for it, it's probably going to be, you know, like a vest top and cut-offs, or vest top and trousers under here, or maybe a swimsuit. So I wanted to leave just that little extra bit of room in here for another layer of fabric, which, yep, great. Got pockets, always a plus. Yeah, I think the only thing that I would change is that if I made it again, oh, that's probably going to make a noise on the mic, faffing with this fabric, but yes, if I made it again, I would make the surplice come more between the girls, rather than what it is at the moment, which is going across. So the pattern was like, gather it to here, and then this bit goes at the centre front, and those bits are not gathered and crossed, but actually what I would probably do is, you know, change the line maybe so it goes down a bit more, or perhaps gather a bit further to change where the centre front is on the pattern and maybe make it go down more like that. I don't know, but then again, like I said with the waist, I'm not looking for super form defining shapes here. There is going to be stuff underneath it, so it doesn't matter if it's a bit more overish than yes, I don't know the word for that noise, but you know what I mean, like okay, so there's nothing left for me to say other than please like and subscribe and comment and all of those things, but most importantly, make sure you have a smashing day.